let's go over historical goal scoring trends and why it's important to adjust player or team stats for the era they played in. Excluding some crazy seasons from like 100 years ago, the 1980s is when scoring was at its peak. This was in large part due to forwards evolving with better sticks and skates and better all-around strategies for scoring, while goaltending equipment remained small and their techniques became outdated. It also helped that the likes of Gretzky, Lemieux, and other superstars entered the league during the 80s. Scoring was still high in the early 90s, but it really started to decline halfway through the decade. Goaltenders caught up with new superior techniques, and defensive systems were popularized. The early 2000s is when goal scoring hit its all-time low since the 1950s. Goaltending equipment got bigger, defensive systems like the trap became popular, and players would be able to get away with tactics that would often be considered penalties in the modern NHL. In 03-04, scoring bottomed out and was part of the reason why the next season was cancelled due to a lockout. In an effort to make the game more exciting, the NHL made deliberate rule changes that would increase scoring. As you can see by the sudden jump in goals after 2004, these changes mostly worked. However, it wouldn't take long before scoring started to drop again as teams got adjusted to the new rules and refs stopped calling as many penalties. But an additional factor is the influx of legendary goaltenders in the 2010s, which meant less goals overall. After 2017, we got a sudden increase in scoring, and then another jump in 2021. This is in large part because the NHL started to shift towards a skill-based game instead of a physical and grinder-style game. Analytics are also a growing tool being used, where players are now much smarter about shot selection. That brings us to today. What will this upcoming season look like? It's difficult to say for sure, but what we do know is that both scoring and save percentages have been declining in recent seasons. This is unusual because usually these two variables have an inverse relationship, as you can see by some of the other years on the graph. The most likely explanation for this is the huge increase in high-danger shot proportion. Basically, players becoming much more selective with their shots leads to an overall decrease in shot volume, which then leads to a decrease in goals. But this higher proportion of high-quality shots makes the average shot harder to save for goaltenders, leading to a declining save percentage. Whether goal scoring continues to decline or suddenly jumps this season, what I can say is the NHL is a dynamic league with natural and sometimes purposeful changes. This is why when analyzing historical data, it's always important to take the era into account.